Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Dick Morris Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The name of the show.
Welcome back to the Dick Morris Show with Doug DePiro, sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. On the line today with us now is Betsy McCaughey, who was the Lieutenant Governor in New York under Cuomo, right? Betsy?
Under George Pataki.
Under Pataki, yeah, that's right. And she was a wonderful public figure, and since then has taken the lead in promoting consumer views of the healthcare system and has become a go-to source for me. And she surprised me the other day by saying that she had announced that she's going to run for governor of Connecticut. Give us some background on that, Betsy.
Well, thank you. I grew up in Connecticut. My dad was a factory worker at the W.E. Bassett nail clipper factory in Derby, Connecticut.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a lot, but Connecticut gave me a wonderful start in life. As you know, Dick, a start, I've been able to achieve so many successes I never dreamed possible. And I owe a lot of it to growing up in a wonderful state called Connecticut. Back then it was the opportunity state. But under lefty money bags, Ned Lamont, he's driven it into the ground. Believe it or not, Connecticut now ranks 48th, near dead last out of 50 states in economic performance.
Wow.
48th. Most people don't realize it. Companies are moving out every day. Just this week, Macy's closed big distribution centers in Connecticut, costing us another 1,000 jobs.
Why is that? What's this governor doing?
Well,
very high taxes and very difficult regulations. He's moved farther and farther and farther to the left to make this state inhospitable to business. And yet he sort of wears the demeanor of a country club guy, but underneath he sticks over on Mamdani, and people are beginning to really wake up. So I thought, I wasn't intending to run for governor. This is a draft. People in Connecticut are desperate. They're going to have to leave the state if they don't turn it around because they want their kids and grandkids to have a chance to make it, to have some opportunities. And there are very few in Connecticut right now.
20 years ago, Connecticut was in good shape. In good shape,
right.
Basically because it had no income tax. And
Now
New York and Massachusetts had very high income taxes, but Connecticut had none. And as a result,
Connecticut has the third highest property taxes in the nation.
Wow.
And as a result,
property taxes are killing everybody. They've really waged a war in Connecticut on homeowners and everybody who dreams of being a homeowner.
you look at the area around Port Arthur and the area around the New York border.
Right.
Where Greenwich is booming, or is booming, but the nearby towns,
Portchester, you're talking about, that's New York, Portchester.
Right, are in bad shape.
Right.
They're in bad shape. And so I'm actually running this race mostly to defend homeowners, to advocate for homeowners, and not just the people who own homes. 68% of Connecticut households own a home, but for the people who dream of owning a home. And this left-wing group in Hartford has put that dream out of reach. They've made it the impossible dream. So it's partly lowering property taxes, giving seniors especially big relief on property taxes. And also, Lamont recently passed a housing law that literally strips all these beautiful Connecticut towns of their ability to zone and prevent big apartment buildings from just being built wherever the developers want.
Ugh.
Believe it or not, this bill says, never mind that you spent your life saving up for a quiet home on a beautiful little street for your family. You can't have that. The government can come in and build a big apartment complex or even a trailer park right next door.
And, Connecticut is I ride my motorcycle up there all the time. I tell Dick all the time, this is the most beautiful place in the country to ride into the mountains and the lakes. It's absolutely stunning. So we need someone like you as a governor.
Well, the problem is that since the income tax was passed, Connecticut has essentially become a donor state to its own unions. And
that's right.
The unions in Connecticut are so powerful that they completely override the governor and the legislature. And
that's right. But unfortunately, this governor has just rolled over and surrendered to the far left, not just the unions, but also to every community organization, not-for-profit that has its hand in the public cookie jar. And from when Barack Obama was president, these are the organizations that get put on the public payroll in between elections, and then at election time, they turn out big time to get the vote out for Democrats. It's almost impossible to win, but I'm going to
it's just about the vote
for an honest election.
It's just about them getting a vote. It has nothing to do with making the state beautiful or making it affordable.
That's right. It's just putting the get out the vote Democrats on the payroll permanently.
We're looking at this happening in Minnesota, where essentially they imported a little group of immigrants.
That's Obama.
Yeah, and then used them to get power, and then used that power to cheat welfare recipients and food stamp programs and daycare centers and basically make it into one big ripoff by the government. And that's something that we're looking at in Connecticut.
Again?
We've seen it in New York. We've seen it in Connecticut. The blue states are allowing this to happen. They don't really care about the taxpayer's dollar and whether it's being spent. Look at Scott Bessent, the U.S. Treasury Secretary, announced the other day that 10% of the federal budget winds up with the fraudsters. 10%.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And every Democratic city, state turns to crap.
And you've been an expert really at dealing with how they're ripping off the Medicaid system in particular. And the increases have been there. Tell us about that.
Capital of the nation. It makes the Minnesota group look like kindergartners.
Betsy, I like that you walk around with a big stack of papers in all your files. When I used to see you walking around the TV thing, you had like tons of paperwork.
Yeah.
Well, you know what that is? I read the bills, the legislation. Wouldn't it be a novel exercise, Dick, if the lawmakers read it before they signed it?
Yeah.
Or if they had to read it before they voted on it, it would be its own kind of filibuster. There'd never be time for them to vote.
In Connecticut, they have something on the electric bill called the public benefit charge, right? You're not paying for your own electricity. In that extra charge, which can be as much as 50% of your bill. Wow. You're paying for a lot of these other things, including the walk-around money to the not-for-profits. It's all in there. And it's actually in the legislation that it provides for this money to be used for these left-wing not-for-profits. Only none of the lawmakers in Hartford read the bill and told the public about this before it got passed.
So why do you feel you have a shot to win?
And what are you going to do to these people? That's what I want to know.
I'm going to be a disruptor.
Good.
There are a couple of other candidates in the race. They may be running to build name ID or as a stepping stone to some other job. I'm running no holds barred to clean house in Hartford and to bring back prosperity and property rights for all these homeowners around the state who are being slaughtered by the lawmakers in Hartford, literally slaughtered, especially the seniors. And one of the provisions I'm offering, which will become law very fast, I can push this through the bipartisan legislature, is property tax relief for seniors who live in their primary residence and earn less than $100,000 a year. Property taxes will be in your rear view mirror.
Good.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, essentially, when the income tax was passed, everybody in the Connecticut legislature said, well, it'll now go to property taxes and we'll increase local aid to offset that with small communities.
They never did that.
They never did.
They never do.
Instead, they increased the mandates for what you should spend. And the whole effort has been to reorient the budget so that it bleeds these communities as opposed to helping them.
And that's what we need in Connecticut. Betsy is strong, and she comes across as a leader, and that she's going to get things done.
And she's a leader in the national movement to control Medicaid costs. Yeah. She was my go-to source person on so many of these things. And she's watched as Medicaid has increased so dramatically and ultimately become the main source of spending by the state. And of course, the main drain on state revenues.
And I would imagine that Connecticut is ready for somebody like Betsy right now to go red, because they really are dying.
They are. Can you imagine settling for 48 out of 50 states, paying all those taxes, nearly the highest taxes in the nation, and then ending up at the bottom of the ladder economically?
So hard to believe that.
Ned Lamont's record is indefensible.
Lamont is really is a very passive governor, doing very little.
Yes.
And during the COVID epidemic, his main claim to fame was that he was not Cuomo.
That was it?
that he was not doing any of the things that Cuomo did in New York. And as a result, Connecticut's stats ended up being better than New York's. Not as good as Florida, but pretty good. And Lamont earned a lot of credit for not doing the policies that Cuomo did.
You know, I grew up in Westchester County in New York, and I now am in Connecticut. And I always love Westchester, most beautiful place in the world to live. No, Connecticut is. It's the best motorcycle ride. I keep coming back to that. It's just so beautiful.
You have to give me a ride on the back of your motorcycle.
Absolutely. With the Betsy McCaughey sign, you'll have it on the... Absolutely.
Good idea.
It's just
and of course, the other thing that's breaking Connecticut residents are the electric bills. And here is Ned Lamont promising that he's going to buy more offshore wind power.
Oh,
right?
Great.
Well, the fact is offshore wind power costs 86 cents per kilowatt hour, whereas electric power produced by natural gas or by nuclear costs 46 cents. So if people in Connecticut elect Ned Lamont for a third term, their electric bill, which is already sky high, is going to double.
Well, you know, the left loves this whole idea with the wind power, but not in my backyard. Remember Ted Kennedy?
It's a visual blight.
Ted Kennedy said we have to have
it. Not in my backyard.
Not in my back. No, true.
Right.
Plus, it's ridiculous. First of all, these wind turbines, the maintenance and the oil coming from the seals and the bearings, and you can't fix them. They have to just rip them down and replace them.
And the threat to wildlife.
It's just horrible. Yeah. And that's right.
Think about what it looks like if right-wing politicians were insisting that we erect oil rigs all across the horizon of the ocean, people would be up in arms at what we're doing to the beauty of nature. But because they're windmills instead of oil rigs, suddenly it's supposed to be okay. It isn't.
It's just like electric cars. It takes more energy to build the electric car than it saves within a year or two.
Now, Betsy, how can people get involved in your campaign?
Pardon me?
How can people get involved with you?
Betsy2026.com. Please come to the website, support us, and take a look at all the wonderful policies I'm putting forward, and we'll fight like hell to make it come true.
And you'll do it. If anyone's going to do it, it'll be you.
Yeah, Betsy is an all-time fighter.
Absolutely. She is. I love listening to her.
Well, thank you for coming on, Betsy. We look forward to working with you in the campaign.
It's a privilege to be on with you. You're such a public service, Dick. Really.
Thank you, Betsy.
Take care.
Okay, thank you.
The Dick Morris Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.